What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. As you can see, FUTMAS starts tomorrow. I'm delighted with that. FUTMAS is hopefully going to be very, very big for us. Hopefully we're going to be able to get some good cards, some good upgrades, some good SBCs. Now before we get into that, you guys in a second will see a few two-player upgrade packs. I did pack walkout, and then I did one more just before the two-player upgrade packs run out. I didn't expect anything out of it, so I didn't record it, but I actually packed Leroy Sané. So I went and bought a tradable one so that I could utilize the untradable glitch to get him. I know his price will go up now that the UCL stuff is done, so hopefully I'll be able to make a bit of profit on him. And then on top of that, and on top of all these 83s that I've been picking up for almost no reason, I now have an untradable Sané sat there on the transfer list that, of course, we can now use in an SBC during FUTMAS, which is going to be great. So for today's video, guys, we're going to be hitting our Rivals rewards. Do I want to do Rivals and Champs rewards all together today with FUTMAS coming tomorrow, or do I want to do Rivals rewards? No, we're still gonna split them up. You know, I work hard every week to get this done. We obviously went for Division 2 rank 1 this week, and we're gonna take untradable rewards because I want as many items in my club as possible so that we can get the best. And I ended up actually, I completed Parolo, which is what you're gonna see today. The gameplay today is gonna be me completing Parolo, but I ended up going really, really close to Division 1. So we're now so we can see the points last week. I got 25,730. It finished on 24,990. And you can see here, I am basically a win or so away from Division 1 now. And I got to this skill rating. I played 2 games after I got Parolo. So I got to this skill rating basically whilst getting Parolo. So the fact that I held myself very comfortably in Division 2 using the team that I was using, I'm really happy. So we get 2 rare mixed players packs, 2 rare mega packs, and 4 mega packs. And all I'm looking to do here, as I said, guys, is just stack the club full of players. If we get walkouts or special cards, fantastic. If not, not a problem, as long as we've got so many items in our club. And we're going to get ourselves a Mario Balotelli there in our first mixed players pack as well. This is 4 gold, 4 silver, 4 bronze. So to get a board out of this, it's actually pretty decent. And there you go, we can send all of these guys into the club. No duplicates to start with, which is a great start. Next up, we get Rare Mixed Players Pack number 2. No walkout, obviously. No board on this occasion either, which is half expected. It's going to be Coquelin. Not a woeful card, you know. A couple upgrades away from being actually incredibly usable there is Francis Coquelin. And again, we've got a Bundesliga guy. He's actually worth a fair bit, isn't he? A couple of thousand coins, but no duplicates there. And that leaves us now, guys, with 4 mega packs and 2 rare mega packs. So many items going into the club. If we could get, obviously, any boards, any special cards would be very welcome. Any walkouts or better would be very, very welcome. And then for today, as I said, we're going to go and show you guys a gameplay of me scoring goals with the Italians to get that Parolo in Division 2. Don't care for the Fiorentina kit. We get a loan. Oh, God, a loan pack. I have seen great things out of loan packs before. Don't care about those. We'll swap these around. Okay, so he's a duplicate untradable. Adama, I actually think he's a duplicate untradable too. No, he's not. Good stuff. Gigot's there. He can go up to the trade pile. And that's our first mega pack done. So not too much by way of duplicates in that pack, which is pretty good. We've got a premium loan reward player pack, an 81 to an 85 rated. Doesn't matter what it is. It just matters if we get lucky enough in the pack to get like a coin unlock or a second player. And we didn't. We got a fitness card, mind. But everything else there can just go. And we move on to Mega Pack number 2. So obviously with this many packs, we've got a good chance of getting something out of one of these. We don't get a board in the second one. We're just going to skip through. If it's no, if it's no boards, I'm really not interested. But we're going to get to put another 10 or so players into the club. For 8 players there, we'll get rid of that guy. We'll move to the second page. Don't care. Well, I suppose I'll keep those. Move to page 3. Don't care about that. Don't care about that, don't care about that. And then Atsu will switch around and send that one up to the trade pile. And that is another set of items into the club. So 4 packs to go before we get into some gameplay, guys. Mega pack number 3. Walkout. Come on, EA. Big card. Big card. It's not an inform. French. Centre mid. It's Paul Pogba. It's a duplicate, untradeable Paul Pogba. You cannot make it up. And now we're going to have to do the duplicate, untradeable glitch to go and put him on the trade pile, which is going to cost me a fair bit in tax. But we get to put ourselves a Paul Pogba on the trade pile. How much? He's 440k. I don't even think I can do it. I don't think I have 440,000 coins right now. Oh, that's heartbreaking. I can't discard him. I can't very well discard him. I'm gonna have to go in and sell. Yo, the Everton third kit is pretty sick. I'm gonna have to go in and sell some items to get 440k. What we got to think about here is it going to be worth it? I can't discard him. Is it going to be worth it to waste the... What are 88s going for? I need to figure out what 88s are going for, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, so the cheapest 88s are going for about 30k. Paul Pogba is going for 440k. If I buy him to get him onto the transfer list and then sell him, it's going to cost me about 22,000 coins in tax, which is going to save me 8,000 coins if I were to buy an 88 rated for an SBC. If I could sell him for a little bit more than what he's selling for currently and negate, you know, if I could get him for 450, like what was he selling for yesterday? Yesterday he was selling for, I mean, he is going up, but he was down in the 420s yesterday and now he's up to 450. Now if his price continues to go up and we could sell him for a bit more, you know, a little bit of a bonus profit, that would be great. But other than that, I would have to sell some investments anyway to get the 100,000 coins. I think I'm going to have to discard. I think it's in the best interest to... Oh, it's a 440k player. Maybe we actually just do Aymeric Laporte. An 84 rated squad. Paul Pogba is going to reduce that dramatically. I'm going to do that, guys. I'm going to complete this. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I ended up actually using... the Leroy Sané duplicate that I just packed, untradeable, and the Paul Pogba duplicate untradeable. And then basically just a really low rated team. We've also got Karim Benzema in there. But we needed an 84 rated team for Laporte. And I've managed to do it for next to nothing. Thanks to these two absolutely incredible untradables. I'm in shock. I'm absolutely in shock that we packed a duplicate untradeable Paul Pogba. I had no intention of doing this Laporte card. We had talked about it on the video before. I'd asked your guys' opinions. Some of you said do it, some of you said don't. And I'd kind of settled on not doing it. Of course, I can't account for duplicates like this. But there you go. We've now got Aymeric Laporte. I can now actually pop him into my French squad for this weekend league. Paul Pogba, the one that we had there, can go back into the club. And then there is a Leroy Sané floating around somewhere. And we've still got 3 packs to go. So 1 more mega pack and then 2 rare mega packs. Of all the walkouts that it could have been, it had to be him, didn't it? It had to be a 440,000 coin player that we could just do basically nothing with. If I was able to open the packs still and just store that, basically if I could have done the duplicate untradeable issue with Paul Pogba, I would have been fine to do it. So I can now bring that Leroy Sané down, and he's the one from my actual club that I've got the game saved on and stuff. So yeah, if I had the coins, it would have been efficient to keep hold of that Pogba on the trade pile. Only by 8,000 coins, but the amount of things I would have had to sell and the tax that I would have lost on picking him up, it would have ended up being nearly non-efficient. So to get Laporte for it instead is pretty awesome. So we've got 2 rare mega packs now, guys. These, of course, are all rare items. We do get a boards. It's French. It's a right mid. It's going to be Tovan. Of course, he had an inform, last week? Maybe the week before. and quite useless to us right now. But a couple of 83s, few 82s in there, nothing like overly major. Good amount of consumables, squad fitness cards that we'll be able to utilize over the weekend league. Cam to centre forward card, always nice. We'll discard those items. And then our final pack for today's rewards, guys. Hey, it's been a success already. No matter what we get here, it's been a success. We get nothing. We get absolutely nothing. So it is just a boards again. Spanish, right wing. It's going to be Jose Callejon, an 84 rated. So a good card all in all, and a nice 84 that we'll be able to use up in the old Futmas festivities. A couple more cards in there. Fred in there as well. Quite useless, but we did obviously use his base card and then UCL upgrade for a fair while. We get a Philip duplicate. Is he tradable? No, he's not, so he can go. We get a Benedetto duplicate. Is he tradable? No, so he can go. And that's it. So not much thrown away. We get to add the Laporte to our account. And then that, guys, is going to be the end of the rewards. Let's get into some more UCL packs and some gameplay. I will be right back. Alright, guys, so as we go into the, as I say, the packs, I got a few packs here for you guys. You get to see a couple of good players there. But we're going to go straight into the comments from today's video. The first one is from the FIFA Master. He says, Nep, this is not a criticism. Always know that it is a criticism when somebody opens with this is not a criticism. But here we go. But I think that you say cards are fantastic only if you like. For example, Player of the Month Sterling has 78 composure and 84 reactions. Poor finishing and is 5'7". Although you said if you put a sniper chem style on him, he goes up to 83 composure and 98 finishing. On the other cards, you've completely discarded them as soon as you send them stats, even though you could have put a sniper chem style on them as you're doing with Sterling. Just my opinion, enjoy the series a lot. And we are going to talk a bit more about Sterling in the future. And hey, that's a fair comment, fair point from you, the FIFA Master. Funnily enough, it's not actually your comment that we're here about. OJ Dubs responded to you and said, the FIFA Master, he has also said he was terrible and not worth it on Twitter. He's just all about clout. I absolutely never said that Sterling was terrible and not worth it on Twitter. I said that the SBC is good value, but the card is poor. And I stand by the fact that the card in general has a lot of negatives about it. So this is where, as I say, we will talk more about Sterling, but a few people responded to OJ Dubs saying I never said that about Sterling, and I genuinely didn't say that about Sterling. I actually think the SBC is good value for what you get. More specifically, because of the fact that he has a massive potential for a big upgrade in January. During the ratings refresh, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sterling's base gold card go from an 85 to an 87, which would improve this player of the month from an 88, potentially up towards like a 90 rated card. And that addition is going to be huge. And it lays into a lot of why, you know, upon first look of the card, it's not great. You know, 3-star weak foot, relatively weak, not super tall. You know, short, not as short as Insigne, but short, a little low on composure. Sure, I do. You know, I understand those things are there, but with the fact that it's nice and cheap, he's super usable. He has great agility and balance, which is great. And you know, the sniper chem style can boost his shooting up high. Is a massive factor when considered with the fact that he could potentially get a massive upgrade. And so, you know, my tweet literally said, Player of the Month Sterling video a little later today. Good value for the card, in my opinion, but the card is so poor. And, you know, that was my initial instant reaction. When you get to look into things a little bit deeper, you can make more informed decisions. Perhaps I should have looked at it a bit more deeper before I tweeted out, but people constantly, as soon as an SBC comes out, people are just like, dude, what do you think of this? So I'll have a quick look at it, I'll be like, this is what I think. And then when we get into doing the SBCs and looking at the cards more deeper, my opinion evolves, it changes, and I'm entitled to change my opinion. You know, it doesn't necessarily make me a bad person for doing so. It doesn't mean that I'm doing it for clout or anything like that. And then Pickle says, there was a few sentiments like this. In fact, before we get to what Pickle says, there's also Mikey Dowdle. He says, you spent umpteenth time moaning about the Insigne, saying he's not even that great, he's not worth it, etc. He's 30k more expensive and has better stats than Sterling, so where in God's name is your logic? First and foremost, he's about 70 to 80,000 coins more expensive than Raheem Sterling. On top of that, he has no scope for upgrades. He's not going to get an upgraded ratings refresh card, so his card is just going to remain. And if you actually look at the two cards, I would apply a sniper chem style to the pair of them. So we're going to look at them again completely subjectively. Because of the fact that I would apply a sniper to Insigne, and I did apply a sniper to Sterling. In just in-game stats, Sterling has 15 more in-game stats than Insigne does. So to say, from your opinion, Mikey, that he's 30k more expensive and has better stats than Sterling, like he does, depending on what you're looking for. But if you actually just look at the card in terms of, okay, like black and white, A versus B, Sterling has more stats than Insigne. When you look at their face card stats, which isn't everything, but we're going to go through it. When you look at their face card stats, Sterling has 4 more pace than Insigne with a sniper. Insigne has 1 more dribbling than Sterling with a sniper. Insigne has 1 more shooting than Sterling with a sniper. So in that sense, in pace, dribbling and shooting, which is obviously super important for these two guys because that's where their positions are really important, Sterling wins out quite heavily in pace and loses narrowly in shooting and dribbling. And when I say narrowly, we're literally talking by 1. Sterling has considerably better defending by 12, considerably better physical by 7, and considerably worse passing by 5. And passing can be relevant here, especially for the way I play with these guys as cams, or where, you know, I would use Insigne as a cam as well. In that regard, definitely we could say, yeah, okay, maybe the passing could be relevant here. When we look at the actual players themselves as well, they both have 3-star weak foot, they both have 4-star skill moves, but Sterling is 3 inches taller than Insigne. I don't know if you've ever used a guy in FIFA that's 5 foot 4 inches tall, but let me tell you something, man. It's bad. Like they just get bullied, and that's true to the Insigne specifically because of his low physical. So when you actually break down their in-game stats, Insigne actually has really low sprint speed. So if you wanted to waste a chem style boosting his sprint speed, I say really low, comparatively low, right? He has 87 sprint speed. So if you wanted to get that sprint speed up, you would need to give him something that's going to boost that heavily. Potentially Engine, potentially Hunter. I think those are both a waste of chem styles because of what you need. You know, if you're putting an Engine on him, you're not boosting his shooting. You need to boost his shooting. If you're putting a Hunter on him, you're wasting chem styles in dribbling, and you need to boost his dribbling. So I think Sniper is the fair assessment here, in which case Sterling has better acceleration but considerably better sprint speed. In terms of finishing, he has 6 more positioning and 4 more finishing once the Sniper chem style has been applied. Where Insigne wins out is Insigne has considerably better long shots, but because of the way this game is played, because of the way the meta is, and due to the fact that timed finesse shots are so broken, whether you have extremely high long shots or not, and because we don't actually know what long shots represents, and let me get to that in a second, the long shot stat is largely irrelevant due to the timed finesses. Now, I read an article on FIFA 12 that broke down a lot of the in-game stats, and I thought that was just like gospel even in this day and age in FIFA 19. And what that said was that finishing is shooting, like finishing is how good players shoot inside the box, and long shots is outside the box, and it was that simple. Since talking to Tom, who is a gameplay producer for FIFA, he's let me know since that it's no longer that's not what the science is anymore. It's a little deeper than that, and it's not the same as it was. Now that might mean that finishing is even further in the box, and long shots also might be taken into consideration in the box, or it might mean that finishing is, you know, imagine like a zone that curves way outside the box, and that's finishing, and everything outside of that is long shots. Or imagine that now it's not about one or the other, maybe they mix them together, and we don't know these things, but I can say from my 1,000 or so games this year on FIFA 19 so far, the amount of times I've scored long shots and time finesses with players like Fred or Guilavogui or whoever it may be, I can say with some confidence that long shots is not a super vital stat this year. Okay, you could dispute that and we can have a debate about that, but for the sake of talking here, you know, long shots, yes, Insigne has higher, but I think they're less relevant. Volleys, Insigne has higher, but they're not even relevant at all. And penalties, Sterling has higher, but also they're just not relevant at all. In terms of passing, Insigne has better vision, better crossing, which has some relevancy in the way that I play FIFA. Better free kick accuracy, which means nothing. Worse short passing, but by 1, so we're not even going to notch that up. Better long passing, but I don't think that's important because it's not crossing. So it's not, you know, I don't do many long passes in general, let alone with my cams. And then he has much better curve. I again believe that due to how time finesses work, curve is a largely irrelevant stat this year, to the point where I scored goals, and I put this on Twitter yesterday, and you'll actually see those goals today. I've scored so many incredible time finesses with Belotti, who has really low long shots and really low curve, and he still bangs them in like it's nobody's business. So I think we can, we can agree that curve isn't super relevant. In terms of dribbling, they're very much the same. They both have 99 agility, 99 balance, 89 reactions, and 99 dribbling. And then Insigne has better ball control by 4 and much better composure by 6. And that is definitely something that I factor in terms of importance. But what you get with Sterling is you get him for considerably cheaper, and he fits in my team personally, and he has the scope of a big winter upgrade. So that's why. And then defending is just irrelevant. And then physicals, Sterling wins out in every category by a distance, you know what I mean? 54 physical for Insigne, 61 physical for Sterling. So to say, in your opinion, Mike, that Insigne is just better than Sterling, I don't think that's very fair at all. I think Sterling is better in some areas. I think Insigne is better in some areas. And then when it breaks down to the actual cards themselves, and I thought I explained this quite well in yesterday's video, but I guess not. But when it comes down to the cards themselves, Sterling is more usable, in my opinion, and has potential to be upgraded, and is much cheaper with better pack rewards, in my opinion. We then go on to the comment from Pickle that I was going to do first, but it makes more sense to do it after. He says, 3-star weak foot, small, bad composure, bad finishing. Chem styles definitely don't do what they say they do. If they did, then every keeper within reason would be impossible to score past with all 99 or 98 rated stats across the board. Pace doesn't matter on this game in the grand scheme of things, so the card is a waste. I mean, there's just so much wrong with this comment, and it got so many thumbs up and people engaged with it so much to the point where I just kind of feel like, okay, let's talk about this. So, first things first, 3-star weak foot. Many players have 3-star weak foots. I agree, 3-star is not ideal, 4-star is better. Bad composure, again, I agree. What's like with the chem style, he goes up to like what, 83, 84 composure. That's more than usable. It's not ideal. I prefer like 89, 90 composure or higher. You notice a minor difference in it in the tough games, but yeah, I agree composure is there. Bad finishing. No, he goes to 99 finishing or 98 finishing. And then to say chem styles don't do what they say they do, they just do. You can't say they don't, because if chem styles didn't do what they say they did, people wouldn't use them, or they would use chem styles like without any concern. There's a big reason why all the pro players and the top 100 players all have shadows on their centre backs and their CDMs and their fullbacks, and they all have either snipers or engines or marksmans on their attacking players, because it gives them the best boost. You can't just say without any evidence or any backing of your claim that chem styles don't work. They've been proven to work time and time again, to the point where like it's indisputable at this stage. Like if you don't believe in chem styles, that's your prerogative. But to say don't go and get this card because chem styles don't work like they used to is just illogical. To then say it would be impossible to score past goalkeepers because they'd all have 99 and 98 rated stats. Have you ever played against a full team of the year goalkeeper, like a David De Gea of previous years or a Neuer of previous years? You can still score past them because it's not about the goalkeeper stats. It's about understanding the broken shooting game mechanics. And in FIFA, broken game mechanics are so bad that you could have a perfect goalkeeper with 99 in every stat, but if I hit that time finesse shot and you don't move your goalkeeper, it's still going to go in every single time. If I hit it green and I'm under no pressure from the top of the box and you don't move your keeper, it's always going to be a goal. So you can't just flat out say chem styles don't do what they say they do, because they have been proven to have worked. What I think, and I've talked about this in great detail before, but what I think is that people think that the difference between stat A and stat B is far, far vaster than it is. So when, for example, somebody will say, oh man, my 90 pace player is getting caught up by his 80 pace player, in your mind, 90 versus 80 is a great difference. And because we've had no clarity from EA what the difference is between 90 pace and 88 pace, or how that intertwines with running on the ball or running off the ball, or having low agility and balance, or how composure works, or whether the speed dribbler trait is effective in that running on the ball or off the ball. All we know is 90 versus 80, and 90 is way better, so 90 should be way better. But because we don't know, you can't just say they don't work. You can't just say to me, Sterling doesn't go to 98 finishing because chem styles don't work, because we don't know what 98 finishing should be. And so I asked Tom, the EA guy, the EA dev, I asked him for us to get visual representations like EA have done in the past of what does 98 finishing look like. When you take 100 shots with a player with 98 finishing and say, let's take Sterling 78 composure, what do those lines look like, those blue and red lines when going into the top corner? What do they look like? And then what does it look like versus somebody with 98 finishing and 99 composure? And then what does it look like versus somebody with, 75 finishing and 99 composure? And only when we get to see and visualize what these stats actually mean and how much difference there is in between, say, 90 finishing and 75 finishing, only then can we make truly informed decisions and opinions as to whether or not chem styles actually work or do what EA say they do. Because if the difference is, let's say, for example, a finesse shot from the top of the box with 98 stamina, 99 finishing, 99 composure, let's say 85 of those shots hit the target and 15 of them miss the target. And then with 99 finishing and 85 composure, so 15 less composure, maybe only 3 more shots miss the target. Maybe 30 more shots miss the target. But because we don't know, we can't just flat out say they don't do what they say they do, because we don't know what they say they do is. So we have to go off the opinion and understanding that they do exactly what they say they do. Otherwise, why are you even playing the game? Or why do you even apply chem styles? Or why do you even bother? Like, you say pace doesn't matter on this game in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, I bet you still go for the fastest centre-backs and the fastest full-backs and the fastest strikers and the fastest wingers, because if you didn't, you would just get bullied by people that do, because the stats do matter, and so the chem styles do matter. You just have to rationalise in your mind that the difference isn't as big as what we may think it is. So I think, even now, I stand by my point that the Sterling card is a good SBC. The card itself is definitely not the greatest card in the game. I'm not sitting here saying, man, Sterling is the Oracle and he's going to score you, he's better than Ronaldo and so on and so on. No, absolutely not. It's going to be a good usable card that's going to let you down in those games where it matters the most. It's going to be great for you in the games where it doesn't matter. When you come up against your, game 1 through 10 of your FUT Champs setting, where you play your easiest opponents in general, Sterling's going to do bits for you, just as anyone in that position would. When it comes up against that guy with a full icon team and he's just really good, elite level player, you're probably going to be like, I need to get Sterling off the field, because that low composure and that low strength and that small frame and the 3-star weak foot isn't good enough to play against teams like that. I absolutely agree with that. But when you look at the whole picture with Sterling, it's an affordable SBC for a good card with good stats that has potential of a good upgrade. And for that reason, the SBC for Sterling is good. And for that same reason, the SBC for Insigne is terrible, because he has no opportunity for upgrade. He is also going to be a card that lets you down in those important games, and he's tiny. He will just get bullied in the game constantly. Jack says, where do you stream? Want to watch but don't know where? I stream on Twitch, dude. Twitch.tv/NepentheZ. Johan says, Nep, Bale and inform Carvajal or Mbappe and second inform Lala? I personally would go with Mbappe and Lala, dude. Like, I haven't used Carvajal, so I can't really speak to him. And Bale is great, but he is, again, one of those players that's just a little one-dimensional due to the fact that he has a 3-star weak foot. Dylan Longo says, hey, Nep, just wondering why you don't play 5 at the back. You seem to enjoy it quite a lot in draft. Yeah, in draft is the new casual mode, right? Draft is a lot easier than FUT Champs and FUT Rivals. So when I experiment and when I play with different formations and players, I can still win comfortably and get a feel for something where I'm like, oh, that was actually all right. However, I took 5 at the back on my main account with my icon team into Division 3. It's not good. It would be the sort of formation that I could use in the first 10 games of FUT Champs. I might go 8-2 or 9-1 with 5 at the back. Once it gets to those tough games, once it gets to that point where you're going to play against good players that understand how to play the game and how to abuse the game mechanics as good as you do, 5 at the back is useless. That's not to say that people can't still find good form from it. I know TAS uses it, but there's a reason why it's not like loads of pro players use it. You know, there's a reason why the 4-2-3-1 is so overused. There's a reason why the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow is so overused. It's because they give the best opportunities to abuse the game mechanics in the best manner. The last comment from today is from Stelios Poyatis. Says, Nep, why do you say that the 2K FUT Champs points are useless? It's because EA give the most FUT Champs points to the guys that don't need them. For me, I get 250 points per win in FUT Rivals. I've never ever needed the 2,000 FUT Champs points that you get from FUT Champs at the end. And for the top 100 players or anyone that gets Silver 1 or higher, really, you don't need the FUT Champs points because as long as you play Rivals through the week, you're already going to have your Champs points. But anyway, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.